Hello all, welcome to the program Know Your Government by Ekam IAS, an initiative where a government scheme is picked upon and elaborated upon and is followed by a question in line with the UPSC pattern. We will now today look into a scheme which is known as Pradhan Mantri Rojgar Protsahan Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Rojgar Protsahan Yojana. Now, what the scheme is all about? Pradhan Mantri Rojgar Protsahan Yojana is a scheme which is designed to incentivize employers for generation of new employment. So, for incentivizing employers or the people who are giving jobs. So, incentivizing employers for the generation of new employment. This scheme has been mainly targeted for the unorganized sector or the workers in the unorganized sector. We will see the details subsequently. So, in this what is going to happen is, Government of India will be paying 8.33% of EPS. So, when an employee is working in an establishment, there is something which is known as EPS and EPF. So, PS is for the pension scheme, whereas there is employee pension scheme, whereas EPF is for the employees provident fund. So, as per the Pradhan Mantri Rojgar Yojana, 8.33% of the EPS contribution which is to be paid by the employer, and if that employer is going to generate a new employment, for that employee this 8.33% contribution of the EPS will be paid by the government under this initiative. I will repeat that point once more. 8.33% of the EPS contribution which the employer need to give to an employee will be paid by the government as an incentive for the employer for generating new employment. Now, understand that this were the 8.33% were the initial layout. There are some recent amendments which have happened, which we will discuss about it subsequently. Then, this scheme has got basically two benefits. So, two benefits in the sense, one is through the scheme, the employers are being incentivized, or the people who are giving job to people are being incentivized, as well as through this scheme, or because there is an incentive part into it, there is a motivation part into it, that would automatically trigger for the employers to give new employees, which is indirectly benefiting the people to get a job. So, the two benefits or the dual benefits include incentivizing part for the employers, as well as a large number of workers will find job in the establishments. Then, the direct benefit is that workers will have an access to a social security benefits of the organized sector. So, social security benefits, probably as a worker goes older, once he is going to take a leave from his job, from his employment option, he needs sufficient methodologies or alternative mechanisms to sustain his family, wherein which the social security benefits will be of help to him. So, that is again another benefit of the Pradhan Mantri Rojgar Protsahan Yojana. Now, this scheme is being implemented by the Ministry of Labour and Employment, and this scheme is being in operation since August 2016. So, a scheme by Ministry of Labour and Employment. All new eligible employees will be covered under the scheme till 2019-20, which means all new people who are going to get a job will be covered under the scheme, and the scheme is been spanning till 2019 to 2020. Then, let us now look into who are all the people or who are all the entities who are eligible to be part of the scheme. All establishments registered with the EPFO, all organizations, they have to get registered with the EPFO or the Employee Provident Fund Organization. And for availing benefits under the scheme, there are some conditions into it. First one is that your organization should be registered with EPFO. Then, establishments should also have something which is known as LIN. So, LIN means Labor Identification Number, which has been given to an establishment to track the unique identity, or it would act like a unique identity for an establishment, and which has been issued through a portal or that has been replicated in a portal which is known as the Shram Suvidha portal. Shram Suvidha portal. So two things. One is LIN, which is acting as a unique ID for the establishment as well as for the Shram Suvidha portal. Then this LIN will be the primary reference number for all communication made under this Pradhan Mantri Rojgar Protsahan Yojana. So the primary reference number for an establishment in the scheme will be LIN. So two things is what we have discussed. First one is they need to get registered, or the establishment need to get registered with the EPFO. Second thing is about the allotment of a LIN, that is the labor identification number. Then the eligible employer or the organization must have added new employees to its establishment or to his establishment, which means that this benefit is going to be given to only those employees which are being newly added into the establishment. So this is indirectly acting as a trigger for job creation. Then the new employee also should have something which is known as a UAN, that is Universal Account Number. And also this employee should not have worked in any other EPFO registered organizations in the past. So 2 points here. One is employee should have something which is known as a universal account number. So what is a universal account number? Previously or before the introduction of UAN, what was the case is once an employee has been working for a particular organization, say X, he would, or the credit of his PF, his pension benefits, etc., would be handled by that particular organization to a particular account. Then this employee, when he is going to join a different organization, the entire process will be starting again, wherein which the account will be started and his PF, his pensions, etc. would be transferred to a different account. So which means if an employee is switching multiple companies or multiple organizations, at the end of it, he will have his benefits deposited in multiple number of accounts. And it will be difficult for the EPFO to track that as well. So to avoid that, they have come up with a universal account number for employees so that their PF part can be properly be tracked. So universal account number for the employee and LIN for the employer. For new establishment coming into existence or getting registered with EPFO after 1st April 2016. So for the new establishments coming after 2016, the employer can avail PMRPY benefits for all new eligible employees. So if an organization is going to come into existence after April 2016, the benefit can be availed by all the employees in that organization, or benefit can be availed for all the employees in that organization. Then this scheme is targeted for employees earning wages less than 15,000 rupees per month. If an employee is been earning less than 15,000 rupees per month, is when the contribution of 8.33% of the EPS will be given by the government. Then new employees earning wages more than 15,001 or above 15,000 will not be eligible under this scheme. Registration on the PMRPY portal is mandatory to avail the benefits. Another catch is there should be a registration done on the Pradhan Mantri Rojgar portal as well. Now, the employers will continue to get the contribution of 8.33% by the government for the period of 3 years. So, since the registration or since the creation of a new employment, from that to a period for the next 3 years is when this contribution will be made by the central government. Now, 8.33% contribution is been understand that is being paid to them as part of their EPS or the pensions part, whereas the 3.67 contribution has to be paid by the employer itself, and that will be adding on to the EPF part, to the PF part. So only after the employer pays the PF part of 3.67% is when the government will come up with the rest amount of 8.33% under this scheme for their pension. Then one exception to this scheme was that for textile industry, one exception was for textile industry, both the, that is both the EPS as well as the EPF would be paid by the government. Both EPS as well as EPF would be paid by the government. That is, EPF contribution of 3.67% in addition to the EPS contribution of 8.33% of their income would be paid by the government for the textile industry only. Or again, understand that these were all the plans when the scheme has been designed. Recently, there are many amendments into this one, which we will again see subsequently. You need to have a clear-cut idea on what or when the scheme has been introduced, what was all the methodologies, what was all the entities under this one, and subsequently what are all the changes it have happened to that scheme. Then the benefit can be availed by the textile industry sector and for those establishments which is dealing with the manufacture of wearing apparel, or for the textile industry which is dealing with the manufacturing of wearing apparel, is where this benefit of both EPS as well as the EPF contribution could be paid by the government. Now, EPFO, that is the Employee Provident Fund Organization, will provide a management information system as well, or for the proper tracking, recording and monitoring of the progress of the scheme and for the activities under this one. The MIS in the scheme is being managed by the EPFO, Employee Provident Fund Organization. Now, we have discussed this point, that is for all new establishments which has come into play after April 2016, for every employees, for each and for every employees, this benefit of the payment of 8.33% by the government in their EPS contribution will be valid. Then understand that this, there's a small timeline to it. At the end of every month, before or once a month end has been reached, before the 10th of the next month is when the respective establishments should submit the PMRPY form to claim the benefits to the respective government officials. So, if your organization or if an establishment is not planning to or not able to provide the claim form before 10th of subsequent month, then they are not going to get the benefit of the previous month. So this is again a mode of an execution and operation mode which has been put up into place. Now, recently there have been some amendments which have happened to this Pradhan Mantri Rojgar Protsahan Yojana. First one was that in the budget of 2018-19, what they have done is, apart from the EPS contribution, both EPS as well as EPF contribution will now be paid by the government. Previously, this benefit was only for the textile sector. But now, since the budget of 2018-19, they are now planning to pay both EPS of 8.33% and 3.9% of the EPF as well, which is contributing close to 12% of the income to be paid by the government as part of the social security measure for the employee. Then, under the scheme, government pays employers full contribution towards EPF and EPS from April 1, 2018 or after the amendment has come into play for new employment for the initial 3 years. So, this benefit would be paid for a period of 3 years since the new employment has been given to an employee. Then, before April of this year, the benefit was applicable for employees' contribution towards the EPS only, as we have discussed. That is it. We will now quickly look at question which is in line with Pradhan Mantri Rojgar Yojana, Rozgar Protsahan Yojana. With reference to the scheme, consider the following below statements. First one, under PMRPY, the government pays employers full contribution towards EPF and EPS from April 1, 2018 for new employment for the initial 3 years. So, 3 key points. First one is regarding the full contribution for both EPF as well as EPS and for the period of initial 3 years from April 1, 2018. As we have seen, this is a correct statement. So, the statement 1 is right. Statement 2. PMRPY scheme is targeted for employees earning wages greater than or equal to 15,000 per month. No, we have seen that this is targeted for employees who are earning less than 50,000 in a month, which means the second statement is wrong, first statement is right. Scheme is implemented by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. We have seen that it is not the Social Justice and Empowerment Ministry which has been implementing this scheme. It has been done by the Labour Ministry. So which means second statement is wrong, third statement is wrong, and the first statement is correct. So that will be giving us the answer A1 only. Thank you, sir.